Jalen Hurts finally getting the respect he deserves after yet another huge game. We'll break all that down and talk about a few other Eagles who also made history yesterday. And lastly, we'll wrap up with some important injury updates. Let's break it all down. All right, Eagle Nation, sound the sirens, baby. Breaking news, the Eagles signed punter Brett Kern, former Tennessee Titan, former three-time Pro Bowl punter. They bring him right in. The Eagles punter Arryn Siposs went down yesterday with an injury. They said he will be out indefinitely. Howie Roseman is not playing around. He goes and immediately gets another guy. This is huge news, man. I mean, I talked later in this video about the Eagles punter situation. I talked about Siposs and the fact that they were looking into Brett Kern, and literally as I'm recording, boom, we go out and make a move and sign him. So we'll leave that part in, but what a big splash by the Eagles. Howie Roseman will not let anything slip past him, and the Eagles' biggest problem right now has now been resolved. What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into A to Z Philly, your #1 home for Eagles coverage. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below here on the YouTube channel and hit the like button wherever you're watching this video. Push this content around to more Eagles fans as we grow. What a whooping that was yesterday. The Eagles absolutely blow the Giants away. The massacre at the Meadowlands. They win it 48-22. The Eagles go up 14-0, 21-0, and ever since that point, it was not even remotely close. What a big win by this Eagles team. They now sit at 12-1. But looking more at what happened yesterday, man, there were so many games within the game. There were so many little milestones and, records and history being made. It was such a fun watch, and I think it's deservedly so that we start with the man of the hour, the man of the day, who now officially sits atop the MVP voting. That is right. Ladies and gentlemen, he's getting the respect he deserves. Finally, we've been saying this for weeks. Nobody wanted to put him atop, right? They were talking about Mahomes. They were talking about Tua and all these other quarterbacks. Well, guess what? Jalen Hurts is now your favorite for NFL MVP, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. Hurts has now passed Mahomes and is -175 to win the award. Meanwhile, if I may add, Tua goes and loses to the Chargers yesterday after losing last week to Brock Purdy and the 49ers, and Pat Mahomes, who lost to Joe Burrow last week, they still had him atop, and Mahomes almost choked a huge lead, him and the Chiefs, to the Denver Broncos yesterday. They ended up winning the game, but Pat Mahomes actually had as many interceptions in yesterday's game as Jalen Hurts has had all year. To me, the MVP race right now is Jalen Hurts first and everybody else a far second. I don't think it is actually close at all based off the way Jalen Hurts has been playing. And why don't we talk about what he did yesterday, right? He made history as well. Jalen Hurts yesterday became the first quarterback in NFL history to have 10-plus rushing touchdowns in consecutive seasons. It has been unreal what this guy's been doing from year one to year two. It's just surreal, man. Seeing the way he was downgraded and the way he was talked about a couple years ago, they thought he was a running back. And here he is in year two as a starter. Look at the progression, the development from year one to year two. It has been absolutely nuts. He had 3 total touchdowns yesterday. He threw for 270, ran for another 77. It's just been unreal what this guy's been doing, just deciphering every single defense. And it's not even the fact we're winning games big, but it's the way we are doing it, right? Jalen Hurts is absolutely dominating from the first possession. Like the way he's floating these 30-yard passes to Devontae Smith right in the breadbasket, or he's getting blitzed on 3rd and 3 by a heavy blitz team yesterday like the Giants, and he just remains calm and poised and hits Quez Watkins on a nice little out route, or, he goes one play to A.J. Brown in the end zone. This guy's been fantastic. He is leading the league in touchdown to interception ratio. He sits with 30 total touchdowns on the year, 20 passing, 10 on the ground, and only 3 interceptions to account for. He also leads the league in completion percentage. He leads the league in passer rating. I could go down the list all day. What Jalen Hurts is doing right now, people are almost having to start talking about this like it's one of the best Eagle quarterback years in history. Like, it is insane, man. Jalen Hurts is absolutely dominating the competition. He is taking every team out of the way right now. And to me, it is not even close. He is the MVP right now. If he were to falter and have like 2 to 3 bad games in a row, maybe you start looking again and bringing others into the conversation. But right now, don't let anybody tell you different. Jalen Hurts is the MVP of this league, and he should be the favorite by a long stretch. What a game. The Eagles have actually scored 30-plus points in 6 straight games. They've scored 123 points in the last 3 games, which is their most in a 3-game stretch since 1954. And Jalen Hurts is the man to thank for all of that. And obviously, he's got a lot of good teammates, so we have to talk about the other cats as well. How about A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders? We'll start with Miles Sanders, man. He has been a hot topic for a long time. He's going to be looking to get paid this offseason. But Miles Sanders has surpassed the 1,000-yard mark on the ground this year. What a year for Miles Sanders. And how about A.J. Brown, who eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark yesterday with receiving yards? They are the first pair since LaShawn McCoy and Jeremy Maclin back in 2014 to both have over 1,000 yards. By the way, Eagles have not had a 1,000-yard receiver since Jeremy Maclin. So what an accomplishment, man. And A.J. Brown has been a monster in the passing game. Miles Sanders, he has just been such a more efficient runner. I've always liked Miles. I've always thought that he was a very efficient runner. Obviously, he's taken it to a new level this year, but I just felt it was the lack of opportunity, right? I feel like we have never given him the amount of touches that he deserves. And this year, he's certainly getting them, and he is making the most out of it. Yesterday, Miles Sanders had his season-high run of 40 yards. He broke one off for a touchdown late in the game. By the way, that was his second touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. He had a career high yesterday as well in total yards with 144. And Miles and A.J. Brown became the second Eagles duo with 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards, both with 10 touchdowns since Ricky Watters and Irving Fryer in 1996. So not only do they both hit 1,000 yards yesterday on the same game, they both hit 10 touchdowns in the same game. And Jalen Hurts becomes the first guy to rush for 10-plus touchdowns in consecutive years. So he hits 10 touchdowns. I mean, it's almost like everything's falling into place here. Everything is falling into line. That is nuts. The Eagles have weapons for days. Did I even mention that Dallas Goedert is not playing right now? This Eagles offense is so prolific, and I don't know how any defense is going to stop them, mainly because it starts with Jalen Hurts. How do you game plan for him? You try to take away his arm, he'll beat you on the ground. You try to take away his legs, he'll beat you in the air. He has gotten that good in terms of his precision of passes that there's just really not many ways to stop him. And right now, he is locked in. There's that video surfacing of him on the sideline. All the receivers are celebrating. Nope, Jalen Hurts is locked in, looking forward. And man, this has been a historic season so far for the Eagles offense. The last thing I want to talk about is the injury update, because even though everything was great yesterday, we do know that there were a little bit, of scares there with the injuries. We saw Siposs go off. We saw Blankenship. Well, we do have updates. We'll start with Blankenship because that's the quick one. Good news, Reed Blankenship has a low-grade knee sprain and will not hit IR. So Eagles dodged a huge bullet there. Obviously, he's been huge in the absence of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We'll wait to get him back. But Blankenship, man, an undrafted guy, he's playing really tough. He's making the most of his opportunity. And hopefully he'll be able to come back within a couple weeks. And I think he avoided a huge injury per Mike Garofalo here. So that is good to hear. On the other hand, the Eagles will have something to figure out in terms of their punter situation, because according to Tom Pelissero here, Eagles punter Arryn Siposs is out indefinitely with a lower leg injury suffered when he scooped a blocked punt, ran, and got crushed. It got blocked into the end zone. He picked it up. He tried to run, and he got absolutely smashed. He went off. He was carded. He was holding his leg. I knew it wasn't good, but it does sound very significant. So the Eagles are going to try to have to find a punter. But let me ask you this. In Week 15, if I said to you, the Eagles' biggest problem is who is going to be their punter next week, how would you look at me if I told you that before the season? I mean, the Eagles are in a good situation right now. I have no doubt in my mind that Howie Roseman will find somebody to come in and take the job and at least compete for it. So they said Siposs is still undergoing tests, but Philly will need to add somebody for now. And speaking of that, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni was asked about it, and he said it's going to be longer than we expected. We'll have to bring somebody in. So just kind of echoing that. And according to reports, according to Tom Pelissero, the Eagles are already on the radar. They're looking at all-pro punter Brett Kern, who is a 3-time Pro Bowler, formerly with the Titans, And, maybe they're going to bring him in. I know he's like 35 or 36 years old. Hey, maybe he can fit the mold and come in. He has experience. He knows what he's doing. Maybe he's not going to try to run for 15 yards after getting blocked. But, hey, the Eagles need to figure it out. I'm sure they will. And hopefully everybody gets healthy. This Eagles team has been relatively healthy this season, and we need to be going into the playoffs. It's crazy to think how fast this season is going, but it kind of feels like a dream right now. Every game just seems to get better and better and better. This Eagles team is clicking like no other. They went out, they got a huge win against a division opponent yesterday. It has been so fun to watch this team, and they are led by the young 24-year-old Jalen Hurts, and all the other guys continue to step up. And like I said on the post-game show yesterday, no egos on this team. Everybody has one goal in mind. They want to win. They have their eyes on the prize. They want to win the big trophy. So I can't wait to see what this team does. We have Chicago this week, and hey, things are trending up. So we will see how it all plays out. Give me all your thoughts down below in the comments section. Be sure to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to A to Z Philly wherever you are watching. With that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.